Hey there, sweet souls. Welcome back to Grandma's Old Age Stories. Before we dive into today's story, I need to ask you something real quick. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or state in the comments because I want to know I'm not alone in this. Have you ever had to make a choice between your career and your baby? Between putting food on the table and being there for every single moment? Because let me tell you something, that guilt, that crushing, suffocating guilt of leaving your newborn with someone else while you go to work, it never goes away. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I could trust family. I thought my mother-in-law loved my baby as much as I did. Boy, was I wrong. What I'm about to share with you today happened just 6 months ago, and I'm still not over it. My marriage? Destroyed. My relationship with my in-laws? Non-existent. My trust in people? Shattered. But my baby, my precious baby girl, she's safe now. And that's all that matters. If you've ever felt like you were going crazy, like people were making you doubt your own instincts as a mother, stick around. Because this story, it's going to make you want to hug your babies a little tighter tonight. Let's get into it. My name is Sarah, and I'm a 32-year-old first-time mom from Ohio. When I gave birth to my daughter Emma 6 months ago, I thought my life was complete. She was perfect. Those tiny fingers, those beautiful blue eyes, that sweet baby smell that makes you want to cry happy tears. But here's the thing nobody tells you about becoming a mom in America today. Maternity leave is a joke. I got 12 weeks. 12 weeks. That's barely enough time to heal from childbirth, let alone bond with your baby and figure out this whole parenting thing. But bills don't stop coming just because you had a baby, right? My husband Jake works in construction, and his income alone wasn't enough to cover our mortgage, car payments, insurance, diapers, formula, and everything else that comes with a newborn. So I had to go back to work. I had no choice. Drop a broken heart in the comments if you've been there. If you've had to leave your baby before you were ready. I work as a nurse at a local hospital, doing 12-hour shifts, 3 to 4 times a week. The pay is decent, but the hours? They're brutal. We couldn't afford daycare. Not with the prices around here climbing to nearly $1,500 a month. That's when my mother-in-law, Patricia, offered to help. Sarah, honey, she said with that sweet smile of hers, why would you pay a stranger to watch Emma when I'm right here? I raised 3 boys. I know what I'm doing. Jake thought it was a great idea. Mom's been wanting to spend more time with Emma anyway, he said. Plus it's free. We'd be stupid not to take her up on it. I had my reservations. Don't get me wrong, Patricia had always been nice to me. But there was something about the way she looked at Emma. Something possessive. Like Emma was her baby, not mine. Have you ever had that feeling? That gut instinct that something isn't quite right, but everyone around you tells you you're being paranoid? Comment yes, if you know exactly what I'm talking about. I pushed those feelings down. I told myself I was being ridiculous. This was my husband's mother. She loved Emma. She would never do anything to hurt her. So I agreed. And that's where everything started to go wrong. The first few weeks were fine. I'd drop Emma off at Patricia's house at 6 in the morning before my shift, and Jake would pick her up around 7 in the evening. Patricia would send me photos throughout the day, little updates like Emma's napping, or Emma loves her grandma. But then I started noticing things. Little things at first. Things I told myself were no big deal. Emma started acting different when I picked her up. She'd be fussy, crying more than usual, and she wouldn't latch properly when I tried to breastfeed her. Now, I was exclusively pumping at work and nursing her at home, so I thought maybe she was just getting used to bottles during the day. But it felt off. One evening, I picked Emma up and noticed she smelled different. Not like baby lotion or the lavender soap I used. It was a floral smell. Perfume, maybe? Did you put perfume on her? I asked Patricia. She laughed. Oh, honey, of course not. Maybe she just smells like me from all the cuddles. Red flag number 1. Then there was the formula thing. I'd been pumping enough milk for Emma's daytime feedings, always leaving Patricia 4 to 5 bottles in a cooler bag. But one day, I came to pick Emma up and saw a can of formula on Patricia's kitchen counter. Why do you have formula? I asked. Patricia waved her hand dismissively. Oh, that's just in case you don't pump enough one day. I wanted to have a backup. But I always pump enough, I said, feeling my stomach twist. Well, you never know, she said with a smile. Better safe than sorry. Red flag number 2. I confronted Jake about it that night. Your mom bought formula even though I specifically told her Emma only gets breast milk. Jake sighed. Sarah, she's just trying to help. What's the big deal? The big deal is that I'm Emma's mother, and I get to decide what she eats. You're being dramatic, he said. My mom raised 3 kids. She knows what she's doing. Has your partner ever dismissed your concerns like that? Made you feel like you were crazy for trusting your instincts? Drop a triangular flag if you've been there. I felt so alone. Like I was the only one who saw what was happening. But I didn't have proof of anything. Just a nagging feeling that something wasn't right. So I let it go. Biggest mistake of my life. Wait, don't go anywhere. Because what I'm about to tell you next, it gets so much worse. If you're enjoying this story, please hit that like button and subscribe to Grandma's Stories so you never miss an upload. We share real stories from real people, and your support means the world. Now back to the story. Things escalated about a month in. I came home one evening after a particularly brutal shift at the hospital. Jake was in the living room with Emma, and she was screaming her little head off. What's wrong with her? I asked, rushing over. I don't know, Jake said, looking frazzled. She's been like this since I picked her up from Mom's. She won't stop crying. I took Emma in my arms and tried to nurse her. She latched on immediately and started sucking like she was starving. When did your mom last feed her? I asked. Jake shrugged. I don't know. She said Emma had a bottle around 5. It was 7:30. Emma drained both breasts in record time, and even then she still seemed hungry. I made a bottle from my freezer stash, and she downed 4 ounces like she'd never eaten before. Something was very wrong. The next day, I decided to ask Patricia directly. How much did Emma eat yesterday? Patricia smiled. Oh, she ate great. She had her bottles, don't you worry. How many ounces? Her smile faltered slightly. I don't remember exactly, but she ate plenty. Patricia, I need to know exactly how much she's eating. Can you start writing it down for me? She looked almost offended. Sarah, I've been taking care of babies since before you were born. I think I know when a baby is hungry. Red flag number 3. That night I barely slept. I kept thinking about Emma's desperate feeding, the way she'd acted like she was starving. And then I remembered something. A few weeks earlier, I'd read an article about mothers-in-law who tried to bond with grandbabies by giving them less food so they'd be fussy with their mothers. It sounded insane, but the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. Have you ever read something that made you go, "Oh my God, that's exactly what's happening to me"? Comment OMG yes if you have. I knew what I had to do. I had to get proof. I went on Amazon that same night and ordered a hidden nanny cam. It looked like a regular stuffed animal, a little teddy bear with a camera hidden in its eye. Perfect. When it arrived 2 days later, I tucked it into Emma's diaper bag, making sure it was positioned to face wherever Patricia would be with her. I didn't tell Jake. I knew he'd think I was being paranoid, and honestly, I didn't want to fight about it. The next morning, I dropped Emma off at Patricia's as usual. "Oh, what a cute little bear," Patricia said when she saw it. "Yeah, I thought Emma might like having a comfort toy," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "How thoughtful," Patricia said with a smile. I kissed Emma goodbye and headed to work, my heart pounding the entire drive. All day I kept checking my phone. The camera sent notifications to an app every time it detected movement. I watched a few clips during my lunch break. Patricia holding Emma, playing with her. Normal stuff. Maybe I was being paranoid. But then I got home that evening and I sat down to watch the full footage. What I saw made my blood run cold. Okay, I need you to take a deep breath with me right now. Because what I'm about to describe, it's going to make you angry. If you're a parent, a grandparent, or anyone who cares about babies, you need to hear this. Don't click away. Stay with me. I watched the footage from the beginning. Patricia took Emma from her car seat, cooing at her, calling her grandma's little angel. Normal. She changed her diaper, talking to her the whole time. Normal. Then she sat down on the couch with Emma and pulled out one of the bottles I'd sent. Emma started drinking and everything seemed fine. But then, after only 2 ounces, Patricia pulled the bottle away. "That's enough for now, sweet girl," she said. "We don't want you getting too full, do we?" Emma started crying, reaching for the bottle. Patricia ignored her. She put the bottle down and started walking around the living room, bouncing Emma, but Emma kept crying. I know, Patricia said softly. But if you eat all your bottles now, you won't be hungry for Grandma later." My heart stopped. What did she just say? I rewound the footage and listened again. "If you eat all your bottles now, you won't be hungry for Grandma later." I kept watching, my hands shaking. A few hours later, Emma was crying again, clearly hungry. Patricia gave her another bottle but pulled it away after 1 ounce. "You're okay, baby girl," she said, rocking her. "You don't need all that milk. Grandma knows best." Emma screamed, and Patricia just let her cry. But that wasn't even the worst part. Oh no, the worst part came next. Around 2 in the afternoon, Patricia sat down in a rocking chair with Emma. Emma was crying, clearly starving at this point. And then Patricia did something I will never be able to unsee. She lifted her shirt, and she tried to breastfeed my baby. I'm not kidding. I watched in horror as my mother-in-law put my 3-month-old daughter to her breast. Emma latched on, desperate for anything. Patricia closed her eyes and smiled. "There we go," she whispered. "Just like when I had my boys. You and me, Emma. Just you and me." I dropped my phone. I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was going to throw up. What kind of person does that? I grabbed my phone again and kept watching, tears streaming down my face. Emma suckled for a few minutes, but obviously nothing was coming out. Patricia wasn't lactating. She couldn't be. But she didn't care. She just sat there, holding my baby to her chest, smiling like she was living out some kind of twisted fantasy. "If you're feeling sick right now, I'm right there with you. Comment WTF if this is the most disturbing thing you've ever heard. I couldn't watch anymore. I jumped in my car and sped to Patricia's house. I didn't knock. I used the spare key Jake had given me and burst through the front door. Patricia was on the couch with Emma, fully clothed now, rocking her gently. "Sarah," she said, startled. "What are you doing here? I thought you worked until 7. "Give me my baby," I said, my voice shaking. "What? What's wrong?" "Give me my fucking baby, Patricia." Her eyes widened. "Sarah, language. Now." She handed Emma to me, looking genuinely confused. I held Emma close, checking her over, kissing her head. "What is going on?" Patricia asked. "You're scaring me." I pulled out my phone and held it up, showing her the footage. "Explain this." Patricia's face went white. She stared at the screen, watching herself lift her shirt, watching herself put Emma to her breast. For a moment she said nothing. Then she laughed. She actually laughed. "Sarah, honey, it's not what you think." "It's exactly what I think," I screamed. "You were trying to breastfeed my baby." "I was comforting her," Patricia said, her voice rising. "She was crying, and I was just trying to soothe her. It's a natural thing. Babies find it comforting. You were starving her so she'd be desperate enough to latch onto you." Patricia's face twisted. "That's ridiculous. I have it all on camera, Patricia. You pulling the bottles away, telling her she didn't need to eat, saying she needed to save her hunger for Grandma." She went silent. "Get out of my house," she finally said. "Gladly," I spat. I grabbed Emma's diaper bag and walked out, my whole body trembling. I know you're probably screaming at your screen right now. Trust me, I was screaming too. But wait, because this story isn't over yet. In fact, it gets even worse when I tell my husband. Stay me that I drove straight home, my hands shaking so badly I could barely hold the steering wheel. When I got there, Jake was in the garage working on his truck. "Jake," I yelled. "We need to talk. Now." He looked up, startled. "What's wrong?" "Your mother," I said, my voice cracking. "Your mother is insane." I showed him the footage. All of it. The bottles being pulled away. The comments about saving hunger for Grandma. And finally, the breastfeeding. Jake's face went through about 10 different emotions as he watched. Shock, confusion, disgust. But then, just when I thought he was going to be on my side, he said something that made my heart shatter. "Sarah, I think you're overreacting." "I'm sorry." "What?" "She wasn't actually breastfeeding Emma," he said. "There's no milk. She was just comforting her." "Jake, she was starving our baby so Emma would latch onto her." "Are you serious right now?" "My mom would never." "I have proof," I screamed, holding up my phone. "It's right here." "How can you defend her?" "Because she's my mother, Sarah. And you're acting like she's some kind of monster." Has anyone here ever felt so betrayed by someone they loved? Comment betrayed if you know this feeling. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Jake, if you don't see how wrong this is, then we have a serious problem. The only problem is that you're being paranoid and crazy. That word. Crazy. I'd heard it so many times in the past few weeks. And I was done. "Fine," I said quietly. "If I'm crazy, then I'm crazy. But Emma is never going back to your mother's house. Ever." "Sarah." "I mean it, Jake. If you want to see your daughter, you'll respect my decision. If you don't, then you can pack your bags and go live with your mommy." Jake stared at me, his jaw tight. Fine, he finally said. But don't expect me to cut my mom out of our lives because of your paranoia. And that was it. That was the moment I realized my marriage was over. The next few days were a nightmare. Jake barely spoke to me. He'd come home from work, eat dinner in silence, and then go to bed. Meanwhile, Patricia started blowing up my phone. Sarah, we need to talk. You're overreacting. I'm your baby's grandmother. You can't keep her from me. I blocked her number. Then she started showing up at our house. One afternoon, I was home alone with Emma when I heard a knock at the door. I looked through the peephole. Patricia. I didn't answer. She knocked again. Sarah, I know you're in there. Open the door. I stayed silent. Sarah, you're being ridiculous. We're family. Let me see my granddaughter. Family. After what she did. I called the police. I told them I had someone at my door who was refusing to leave. Someone who had violated my trust with my child. They sent an officer over, and Patricia was told to leave and not come back unless invited. She left, but not before yelling through the door. You'll regret this, Sarah. You'll regret keeping my grandbaby from me. Chills. Literal chills. A week later, Jake sat me down. I can't do this anymore, he said. Do what? I asked, even though I already knew. This. You. The way you're treating my mom. Jake, your mom tried to breastfeed our baby without my consent. How is that okay? She wasn't actually breastfeeding. It doesn't matter. I screamed. She violated my trust, she starved our baby, and she lied about it. And you're defending her. Because you're being unreasonable. I laughed bitterly. You want to know what's unreasonable? Choosing your mother over your wife and child. Jake stood up. I'm filing for divorce. And just like that, it was over. 6 months of marriage. Gone. It's been 3 months since Jake moved out. The divorce is almost finalized. I have full custody of Emma, with Jake getting supervised visitation every other weekend. Patricia is not allowed anywhere near my daughter, and I have a restraining order in place. Jake still doesn't understand why I did what I did. He still thinks I overreacted, but I don't care. Because at the end of the day, I protected my baby. And that's what matters. Emma is thriving now. She's happy, healthy, and safe. And me? I'm healing. Slowly. But I'm healing. So to everyone watching this, here's what I want you to take away from my story. Trust your gut. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Don't let anyone, not your partner, not your family, not anyone, make you doubt your instincts as a parent. You know your baby better than anyone else. And if someone crosses a line, you have every right to protect your child, no matter who that person is. I lost my marriage because I chose my daughter, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. If this story resonated with you, please leave a comment sharing your experience. Have you ever had to cut someone out of your life to protect your child? Have you ever been told you were crazy for trusting your instincts? You're not alone. We're all in this together. Thank you so much for watching Grandma's Stories. Please like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who needs to hear it. And remember, sweet souls, you are not crazy. You are not overreacting. You are a mother protecting her child. And that is the most powerful thing you can be. Until next time, take care of yourselves and hug your babies tight.